Excellent. Now, officially on the record, welcome to the Drone Innovation Hackathon webinar. We are really excited to have all of you here with us today. We are going to cover a lot of exciting news and give you a lot of new insights that you haven't seen on the challenge website yet in regards of the background of the project, on the challenges that you as participants will be solving in January in Tampere, and of course, all the practicalities around how you can join, how you find a team, how you actually win the hackathon, and so on and so on. We have a lot of exciting speakers for you here and a lot of experts on the line. So, any questions that you might have, we are here for you. My name is Madeline Kivikangas, and in terms of day-to-day things regarding your participation or anything that you're wondering around the event itself, do feel free to reach out to me. And if I don't know what to answer, I know who will answer you properly. But before I go into all of the practicalities, you will hear some background of the drone strategy, the national drone strategy that we have ongoing first and foremost, to kind of give you the picture of the whole event itself and the idea behind the event. After that, we will dive into some background to the hackathon initiative of its own, so kind of narrowing the scope, and then, of course, go through all of the 4 challenges that you will be solving in the hackathon, or one or several that you will be solving, up to you as a team. And finally, practicalities, how can you become part of this? And then any questions that you might have left at the end, we will answer as well. Jumping right into the background to the national drone strategy, why are we even here? We have Jarno Limnell, Member of Parliament, here with us today. And without further ado, I will give you the stage immediately.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon also my behalf from the happiest country in the world, even if it is a little bit hard to imagine at the moment when I am looking at outside of the window from the Parliament House, and it's raining and dark, but anyway, it's good to see smiling faces. And thank you also for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about the drone issue, what we are having in Finland, as well as the drone strategy, what is ongoing in our country. But let me emphasize immediately, just a second. And now you can see my screen. Yeah. So let me emphasize, because I think this is the most important message what I want to deliver. When I'm thinking about the drones, when I'm thinking about the possibilities of the technologies, when I'm thinking about the security, for example, my home country, Finland, I think that trusted partners and cooperation is key to be successful. And I think this is very important message when we are thinking about the current security policy situation, as well as the pace what is happening in the field of technology. For example, I was just last week for 1 week in South Korea in a NATO meeting, and we were discussing a lot about, for example, the different components of drones, where they are coming from, to what kind of technology you can actually trust, and of course, where you can test and cooperate with the different solutions. So this is not only Finland's issue, this is not only Europe's issue. I would say that this is the issue what actually concerns the whole world at the moment, and trusted partners, reliable partners are really needed during these times. In short, I have been working with security and security policy all my life in different roles, as an officer in the Finnish Defence Forces, in business in Finland and abroad, cybersecurity professor for 9 years, and nowadays in politics. And I can't remember during my career, more than 30 years, that there has been so much talk about security, technology, and preparedness, what is ongoing at the moment in the world. And even if it is hard to foresee what is going to happen in the future, I would predict that this kind of discussion is going to get even more active in the coming years. And of course, there are many reasons for that. One is the instability, what is happening in the world in many places, both in technology field, in digital world, meaning cyber domain, and also in the physical world. And I think it's very important to understand also what actually we have been discussing in these NATO meetings as well, since I am running or chairing this committee of technology, trends and security in NATO Parliament. That when we are thinking about the security, it is a developing story all the time. So just one example, when we have nowadays 5 official warfare domains, land, sea, air, space, and cyber, I think we have to be able to foresee a little bit what will be the 6th or 7th domain of warfare where we are heading to. So this is developing story all the time. And of course, when we are thinking this from the economy point of view, I have never seen that there is so much interest towards defense industry, security technologies, dual use technologies, what there is at the moment. Not only from the military point of view, but how you are able to utilize different kind of technological opportunities, what we are developing now faster than we have never done before in the humankind history. And I think this is one good point to keep in mind, that there is growing economical opportunities as well when we are thinking about drone issues. And just example from the NATO. As you know, the NATO countries decided earlier this year that they will spend in the near future 5% of their national budget to different defense solutions. And of course, technological innovations are a central part of that. But it's not the NATO headquarters who is actually doing these innovations. It is happening in different countries and especially in companies. And as it is said in the NATO's strategic concept, that will actually influence the success on the battlefield as well. And of course, when we are talking about the drones, for example, in Finland, I think the first image what comes to people's minds is actually what is happening in Ukraine. And well, unfortunately, because this war, large-scale war, has been happening more than almost 4 years now, it has changed the ball game pretty much as well. I just met a few Ukrainian companies recently here in Finland, and they told me that nowadays, or when the war started almost 4 years ago, there were 7 drone companies in Ukraine. And nowadays there is more than 500, and that's only in Ukraine. And when we are thinking about from the strategic or operational or even tactical level, we all know nowadays that all the losses on the both sides of the fronts are produced in this war by drones. So it has really changed the warfare as well. And since the importance of the drones has become so important in recent years, we decided it in Finland that, okay, we have to understand better what is really needed in this field and what we want to achieve. And in large ecosystem, meaning people from the public sector, from the defense forces, from different research institutes, from the companies and so on. We gathered different experts together and we created this first Finnish drone strategy. And there is also a link in this slide, so you can find this if you want to read it more. But I would just like to raise 3 key points. First of all, I think a little bit too often people might think that when we are thinking about the drones, there is some kind of flying object and how to make that object to fly without any human interference, especially on the board. But the importance here is that we really have to understand the ecosystem, starting for example, from the educational point of view, how you are able to have right kind of engineers or other skilled people to create different kind of drone activities. Then, of course, communications is very important when we are talking about drones. We have to be able to think about the sensor technology and how to utilize that. Software is key part of this. And of course, the flying physical object as well, AI, and many other issues. So I think when we want to success in the field of drones, we have to be able to create with trusted partners a very good ecosystem. But of course, we have to be able to test them, and we have to be able to test these new innovations in a safe way. And one key point what we are discussing, for example, in my NATO meetings nowadays is that, okay, drones are very important, not only in military purposes, but also, for example, how we are protecting our critical infrastructure in Europe, for example, at the moment. And like the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte just recently said, every European capital is nowadays in the front line when we are talking about drones. So really like a good testing and safe testing areas are really needed in order to succeed as well. So my first point is the importance of the ecosystem. The second point and the key point is the strategies, what the goal, what is defined in the strategy. And the goal is making Finland the world's leading country to drone development and business within 5 years. And I would pay special attention to the word development, because if you want to develop a successful drone system, you really need that number 1 point, ecosystem, testing areas, trusted partners, different kind of technologies, and so on. And the third point, I think this is important to emphasize as well, that it's not only for the military purposes, even if that is the headlines what we are usually reading when we are thinking about the drones. Our approach in this drone strategy is not only the military one. We believe that unmanned air activities will be a revolution in many ways. So this is not only for the military, this is also for the many other opportunities what this development can provide us. And my last points, I think it is important, first of all, talk more in public about drone issues and how this kind of ecosystem, the importance of the testing areas and so on, education is really needed. I think we need more like a wise public debate on these issues. Second point, like I emphasized, the importance of the ecosystems. This is developing story, as we know. R&D is very important. Testing and cooperations, and of course, I think when we are thinking about developing different drone areas, testing areas, as well as drone ecosystem, it is very important to bring the clear messages to the politicians as well. So in these short words, thank you very much for this opportunity, and I am sure that this will turn out very well.
Thank you so much, Jarno, for the background, and definitely gives us a good picture that we're not here for nothing. It's definitely a very big meaning behind it all. Before we potentially release you, any questions for Jarno around the topic? We have a raised hand. I'm putting you on the grill immediately. Yes, please, Sami.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
No worries.
I'm Sami Lukonen from 17 Tech. We are a dev tech accelerator and a venture capital company. And on the, I think you're raising a right point on the policy making, or I want to emphasize the policy making part of your speech. Yes, testing, of course, is super important, and that's the only way to proceed. And because of the lack of the policies, how do you do testing, especially in electronical warfare environments? For example, we've had to do the testing in Ukraine. And of course, Ukraine is a different environment. You don't really need to have policies because it's a war scenario where you play. So you have the natural environment to do the testing. But in order for us to excel as Finland in this area, we need to rapidly develop policies for the larger areas that can be used regularly. Currently, we have kind of twice a year, we have the Finnish Defence Force arranging demo areas, or here we are trying to make it in the Nokia Arena, which doesn't, or it's a good simulation, but it's not the real environment because of the reflections and all the things that happens inside the dome itself. And I wanted to kind of ask or kind of get your view on the progress of policy making in enabling the testing of these devices.
Excellent point, really, Sami, and thank you for raising this up. We have this drone group, what I am chairing, and we were just recently discussing with the people from the Traficom, who is actually preparing for different legislations, how we are able to test drones more in Finland, because we have, as you know, some restrictions by the legislation for that. And I would say this is ongoing at the moment, but the point that you raised up that there are, for example, how there could be certain areas in Finland that could be more or less all the time used for drone testing, and how to enable that from the legislation point of view. I think that's a very good question, and I have to raise that up. Thank you very much, Sami.
Excellent. Thank you. Good discussions already, and we're not even halfway through. If nothing further, again, thank you so much, Jarno, for taking the time and for sharing with us. Going forward, we're going to narrow the scope a bit, as I mentioned, and talk a bit more about the hackathon initiative, let's say. How does Tampere come into the picture and so on? And to share a few words on this, we have Tero Chykling, Senior Business Advisor from Business Tampere. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mate. I trust that the first slide is visible, and thank you, Jarno, for your SITREP and reality check where we are with the drones and in general. That's really a dramatic message, strong message that you were delivering for us. I may take on my slides a little bit lighter perspective on my presentation, and good afternoon from my part as well, dear webinarians. That is an actual word. I checked that one out. So here is my agenda for the brief presentation I will be giving for you guys today, and my objective, as was displayed by Mate, is to give an overview of what is behind this hackathon from a little bit bigger perspective. And my challenge is a little bit different. It's not changing the Here we go. So my challenge is a little bit different from the rest of the challenges, which are technology-driven challenges. So when already touched upon in the previous discussion that flying drones, and especially when we flying drones outdoors, it's rather difficult to do that because of the problems that I can summarize in three issues. The first one being the bureaucratic issues, and then regulatory issues, and also the weather issues. And even though that we do need to test in real life environments, but that's not always possible. So we can do indoor testing as well to support the outdoor testing. So when you want to avoid these three issues that I mentioned, you can move indoors, but then the question is that where do you go? And usually the options are, for example, empty industrial halls, warehouses, or even a big room if you can find one. But what if you have opportunities that could provide you something much better? So with this challenge that we have here with, and the hackathon is a real test for it, is to achieve a groundbreaking indoor drone testing concept that is not only domestically good, but it also will win hearts in global scene as well. So when we talk about the challenge, we set out to a mission in this year in February, and we aim on that mission to develop a state-of-the-art indoor drone testing service for drone companies, communities, and ecosystems. And doing this, it will be primarily customer-driven quest to deliver a real live testing experience through various real-life simulations that can take place at the arena. So this means that the whole aim to develop these services is really based on the customer feedback. So that is what we are not developing anything that, in our opinion, has no demand. So the customers and users of these testing services are in very crucial role on how the service packages using Arena as a facility will then be evolving in the future. Now that the Arena is mentioned, the testing will be utilizing the technologies available and the space being available at the Nokia Arena, but then the testing concept will be built and developed on top of that. Now, technologies it's a Nokia innovation platform and also Elisa innovation platform, and there are other technology providers as well at the Arena. And the full list of the technology providers and things that can be actually tested in the Arena will be provided later when we get the specifications and more precise service concept defined. And this hackathon is the first milestone to give us an idea that what would need to be in this kind of a service concept. So when we are talking about service concept, this is roughly what we have in mind. So it has to be really a customer journey. So when a testing party comes to the venue, there has to be a total customer path defined from the awareness that the testing companies or drone companies can find these premises all the way through when they exit the testing days or whatever time they might be spending there, in such having such a sentiment that yes, let's make this our recording test platform for this certain type of things that we are testing. And now that the customer service path or map is here, that gives a transfer. It transfers me right to the my last slide, which is call to action. So for closing my part in this webinar, I will invite all players in the game of drones to join this mission. And like Jarno said earlier, this is big, huge, large thing. So this is not only a national endeavor and not a Tampere endeavor, but the objective here is to really build a network of different drone testing concepts in Finland. So I would say that we could, like Israel is referred as a startup nation. And going back to what Jarno was showing earlier, that if we can develop a network of different kind of drone testing services and facilities, Finland could become a drone nation. And that's really the ultimate goal. And I'm glad that Jarno actually set the time frame that is 5 years, which is it fast enough? That can be debatable, but at least we have a milestone or a goalpost to aim at. And with that sentiment, this is what is behind the hackathon. Hackathon is important first milestone on delivering these services and defining and developing the services based on what is actually required in the market. So yes, please, as I said, I invite all the interested players in the game of drones to join this initiative and take it to the national and then eventually to international level. Thank you from my part.
Thank you so much, Tero, for the background and also for introducing the first challenge, the future of Nokia Arena, a bit. And as you might have noticed here from the speech, that the first challenge being the future of Nokia Arena, you don't need to fly drones in this challenge. So as long as you are a drone enthusiast or otherwise have good ideas on how you could create concepts for the new testing availabilities and possibilities, we invite you to come and join this first challenge. No need to fly anything if that's not your thing. But if you are coming to solve the first challenge, what can you do and what kind of solutions would be possible? To give you a bit of more insight on this and going a bit deeper under the surface, let's say, we have Veli-Pekka Vatula here, the Delivery Director of Defense and Security at Unikie, the other owner of the first challenge. Please walk us through a bit more in depth. How can you approach the first challenge of the hackathon?
Thank you, first of all, for letting us to be part of this challenge. It is very important for us as a company, and I'm sure that this will be the whole testing activity that we are now launching will be a kind of a heart of the whole ecosystem that will be formed around it. So, like I said, I'm from Unikie, and I'm heading the defense and security segment delivery activities in here. And that's why I kind of truly understand the importance of this kind of a controlled and repeatable place for conducting tests with the whole ecosystem. So in our environment, we have been doing the drones for several years already with some tens of people as a part of our autonomous robotics project portfolio. And because of that, we have needed to also build our own test capabilities, like I'm sure most of you have been doing already in your field as well. So I think we all understand that before taking the drone outside, and when we are taking the drone outside, we are introducing it to all of the regulatory constraints and unpredictable weather and absence of the stable conditions. I believe that we all see this facility as a place to work on those problems in a repeatable and controlled large-scale environment to conduct these tests in a variable controls conditions. Some couple of examples that I was promising to give in here. There are already shortly mentioned, and there was already a bit of a discussion about the potential RF jamming and different radio frequency regulations. When we are doing the testing outdoors, these are the kind of normal restrictions that we all have been facing. And I believe that at the Nokia Arena, in a shielded environment, we can treat this. We can use this as like a regulatory sandbox where we can, in a certain limits, test whatever we need on this from these signals, like high power signals, or deploying a real life jamming equipment in action in this arena and so forth. The second thing that I think we all understand, that the modern drones must also fly in the GPS-less environments, not only in the military cases, but also in the several of the industrial environments where the GPS simply doesn't exist. I believe that this facility can be also used as a large-scale test environment for technologies like the UVP positioning, camera-based locations, and LiDAR-based LAM technologies, and many others that can be used for the same purpose. Yes. At least for us, we see this place to be part of the product development pipeline. To understand that development cycle, we move from the small-scale lab tests to the large-scale expensive outdoor field tests, which take a lot of time and a lot of practice. And we see this facility also as a kind of a place for fulfilling this gap in the middle. And I'm sure that we all can treat this space in a similar manner prior taking our expensive test tours outside. There are many conditions that we can control also in here. I think one of the very simple examples could be the controlled light or the fog conditions for the machine vision solutions or things like that we need in these drones. But finally, and the most important thing for me in this whole hackathon challenge is that we must together understand how we can make this capability managed well and available for all of us in the future. For us, at least, this is without a question a strategic asset in here, and we would like to solve the tough engineering problems repeatedly. But this facility is only as good as its operations, so I hope that we all understand clearly that we need to together in this challenge to understand how we as a community, as a tech leaders, industry partners, we ensure that this operation is functional in the future as well. So with this, I hope that you can all we can all put our hands on the table and be part of this challenge of solving that, okay, how do we run this whole operation for us all in the future? And make this the best ecosystem and a place to test these things in the planet. I don't know.
Thank you so much, VP, and I second everything that was said. Very inspirational. Any questions from the group for Tero and VP regarding the first challenge? Again, you can ask them in the chat whereas we go or save them for later. But if already we have anything, for now we're happy. Excellent. Crystal clear description of the challenge. Then we will walk you through the practicalities and the eval criteria, etc. later as well. And then, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. While we are on this moving train, let's move on to the next challenge. Challenge 2, the invisible intruder, set to you by Crown Defense. And we have Kati Kaarila, COO and partner of Crown Defense here to kind of walk you through the given challenge there and what you can expect as participants.
Yes, hello to everyone, and we are really happy to be a part of this little hackathon that we are planning. I second everything that has been said before. We do lack a space to test and do these demo evaluations, so it would be very, very great if we can pull this off and everything will go as planned. For our hackathon challenge, so what we have there is sort of we're looking for companies that could possibly, avoid our detection or identification of the drone, and possibly also defeat our protective shield that we have. So we welcome everyone to give it a try, and it would be also very great then after that, we have planned that we would have a sort of debriefing with all of the participants that participate into our challenge, because we, like already a lot of people have said, we want to support the community and we want to build on this together. So let's have a debriefing with everybody. And also for the winning team, we will have one-to-one discussions about the future collaboration after the event. And if for some reason nobody can successfully break the bubble or the shield, then we will choose the winner, based on the best effort in innovativeness, the demo and the presentation. I'm not sure if we were going to go through the criteria, or do you have a separate section for that, Marte, later on?
If you want to, you can, but I can also cover them later. Up to you.
Yeah, let's cover them later, because I think it's good to go through all of the criteria in the same place with everybody else. But yes, very happy to be a part of this, and we are working alongside with all of the other ecosystems also to support this thing. And hopefully we'll hear about the Trafi change soon. So thank you from my side.
Thank you, Kati, and thank you for introducing the second challenge. Any questions again for this challenge? Feel free to pop them into the chat and we're here to answer them, but I'll let it marinate for now so that you don't have to speak out immediately. I will again keep going to the next two challenges. So the two remaining, third and fourth challenge. We have the 4G and 5G driven innovation challenge, as well as the low signature drone design. These are provided to you by Elisa and also by Loopshore when it comes to the low signature drone design challenge. And therefore we will have Sauli Lehtavaara, the Innovation and Business Development Leader from Elisa, to walk you through them. But before we do, I do see a raised hand, and I'm sorry, Sauli, but I'm going to go through that first. Please go ahead, Debrat. I see that you have your hand raised.
Sorry, I need to log in, out and back, so give me a minute.
Perfect.
I'll be back.
This works out.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for giving the introduction for almost all the challenges. I was just reading through the eligibility of the people who can participate in this competition. So the person has to be both a citizen and a resident of a NATO country. Currently, in my team, we both are the residents of a NATO country, but not a citizen of it. So are we still allowed to participate or not?
Which challenge would you be hoping to participate in?
It depends. We was just checking the eligibility, and then we were like, oh, can we participate or not?
I would say do send in your application either way with the challenges, and I can bring them by to the challenge partners of the chosen challenges, and then we can take it from there. So do still send in your application with all of the details, and then I will give the word over and get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Excellent question. And I see that we have the introduction to the next challenges up. So Sauli, whenever you're ready, we are too.
Everybody can hear me and see our slides. Is that?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, so I'm Sauli from Elisa, part of the growth operations team here, where we innovate and develop new business opportunities for Elisa together with our partners. And there should be also Jussi from our team in the call to ask a bit more technical questions if there are any, as he's an expert, especially around 5G and 6G. But I'll give you a quick intro to Elisa, why this is interesting to us, and then we will make a bit deeper dive into the challenges. So Elisa is this big telecommunications company. We have a lot of services for consumers and business customers around telecommunications and entertainment services and IT services, and over 2 billion euros in sales per year, and we are operating in 20 countries. And Elisa has a long history on working with the defense industry, and there on the left there is a visualization of our service platform for defense industry, and there on the right are a couple of our, let's say, unique strengths listed. For example, we have decades of experience in safeguarding operation and operating the dedicated network for authorities called Erillisverkot in Finnish. And then we have totally unique network infrastructure in Finland, so around 10,000 base stations all around Finland, over 1 million locations connected with fiber, and there's a crazy amount of data going through the network per day, and that requires a certain amount of capabilities to be able to crunch that data real time and to keep the network operating. And then Elisa is able to invest hundreds of millions for the future every year. So definitely something like this is very, very important for us. The key areas where Elisa sees that we can really make a difference in the defense industry are these areas. So how can we support the combat systems with civilian technologies where we are really good at, and then overall how to accelerate the whole development speed of the entire industry. Definitely we are very interested that, which was mentioned earlier today in the call, that some kind of test areas Elisa would be really interested on providing our base stations and stuff like that, where different kinds of developers could have access to use our technology. And both of these areas are somewhat related to the challenges that we are helping up to put together in this great event. So then about the challenges, common for both challenges is that the flight area is at the center area of the arena, where normally, for example, ice hockey is played. And I guess there are a couple of these safety procedures in place. So only one team at a time is flying at the area, and only one drone at a time at the air. And the plans that I'm about to show you, they might be changing here and there a bit before the actual event. So keep that also in mind. But then the challenge number 3, which is called the 4G, 5G driven drone innovation. There on the right, there is the really simplified visualization of the challenge. So the drone will be flown from start to finish through checkpoint, and voila, you have completed the task. But the hard part here is that the line of sight to the drone is blocked, so the drone operators will be flying behind an obstacle. So one way or another, the teams, for example, with a attached 4G, 5G camera, using that technology, they should be able to fly the drone through the track. And there's also this kind of a bonus task in the mission here, that the team should be able to record a video of a surveillance object which is placed somewhere in the track. A bit more information will come closer to the event when we start to really see how the course is shaping up. And then related to the technology, the 4G, 5G network, Jussi, would you like to mention something for the teams?
Okay, there's a couple of things what I would like to highlight. So when you are flying the drones in the ice ring area, we have mid-band 4G and 5G frequencies deployed in such a way that antennas are pointing towards the audience. So it means that when you are flying on the area, There's no clear dominance. You can expect handovers between the sectors and so on. So this is something that you should be aware of. On top of that, we have a couple of millimeter wave sectors on that area. So if you want to try out, let's say 5G with millimeter waves, it's possible if you want. We do not have any low band frequencies, so you need to check that your drone is supporting mid-band frequencies if you want to use those. We will be providing SIM cards with Elisa's 5G Plus subscription for those participants with 5G drones and 4G drones. That's all.
Yes. Thanks, Jussi. Any comments or questions regarding this challenge number 3? Okay.
I see a raised hand, I think, now.
Okay. I don't see them, so please.
Yeah. Have a question related to this challenge. So, is the expectation that we have a really kind of a pilot for these drones? Because at least I think we are interested to trying to fly autonomous drone on this challenge. So, what is this challenge for? So that is our plan. So, is it okay to participate this with the fully autonomous drones?
So if I heard correctly, the question was that you have a drone that should be able to fly through the track autonomously, and if that's okay. I think for me at least that sounds really cool, and I would like to see that. So I think there's no problem with that.
Yeah. Hi. Hi, this is Tero Vuorenmaa from Innovia. So we are a part of arranging these challenges, and I think it's an excellent choice. Just keep in mind and think about how, if you are using autonomous drone, that how you can kind of like connect or use the 5G, 4G capabilities as well in the innovation or in the autonomous flight. So basically, just a kind of like a hint for you, because the challenge is about the 4G, 5G driven drone innovations. So if there is something that you can use with with autonomous drones, that would be awesome.
Yes, quickly going back to the idea that we have a SDR radio and also the some mobile phones, but the problem probably is that are we able to detect the direction of these signals in the arena? Or is there a lot of like reflections and stuff like that? So, what do you think?
At least I don't have the expertise to answer that question. Jussi, is that something that you would have an opinion on?
When it comes to 4G or 5G signals, you can expect that there's a mix of those. You will be detecting multiple signals from multiple sectors at the same time. I would expect reflections as well, depending that how well your SDR can, let's say, sense the radio environment. If the granularity is high enough, I don't know exactly how you're going to do it, but I would expect reflections.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we participate and see what happens.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent hackathon spirit to use.
Thank you.
Any other questions for this challenge before we go to the next one? Okay, then the challenge 4. So here we will bring a replica of our mobile connection base station, so to say, just not as tall as they happen to be, and we will put some various different kinds of technologies onto it, which will then start to detect whether there are drones moving in the area or not. But for the teams, the task is to try to fly as quietly as possible, as close as possible to the base station that is standing at the end of the course. And when the system detects too much noise, then an alarm will be placed, and the task or the flight should stop there. So that's simply put the challenge number 4. Any questions on this one? Sounds clear, it seems.
Crystal clear.
There was a question about lighting conditions in the track. If you are flying based on video feed, for example, any plans that it's somehow dimmed lighting or
Excellent question, and it's no secret, but I think we will have to get back to you closer with all the instructions of the exact course and exact outlines. Then we can definitely communicate the exact lighting as well. So definitely not a secret, but nothing that is completely set in stone yet, so to say.
Yeah, that I can already say that it won't be kind of like a normal daylight. So there will be some lightning existing, but we will get back to this question later.
All right. I will stop sharing now and let me know if there are any other questions. We'll be happy to answer them.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sauli, and thank you for introducing the 2 remaining challenges. And there we have it, the 4 different challenges that you are invited to solve. You can solve one or you can solve several of the challenges or apply for all, up to you completely. I will walk you through a bit. Now we know what the challenges are. What are your options? How can you join this hackathon and what can you do? But let's jump into a bit more in-depth explanations, let's say, about what is happening next. What are the evaluation criteria and all of the practical things? Where do you need to be and when? And so on and so on. I will try to be as brief but still clear as possible. Let's see how it goes. If you haven't yet, please register to the event with an existing team or then on your own if you are looking for a team to join. When you go to the hackathon page, I can link it in the chat here afterwards as well. There is an application form that you simply fill in, and it's enough that 1 member per team fills in the personal details of themselves and all the team members, as well as the project submission idea. So basically, which challenges are you solving? What is the plan for each of the challenges that you are applying for, and so on. Do try to be as detailed as possible, because even if you apply to the hackathon, it's not a given that you will actually get to join the event itself. After the deadline, there will be a team selection where each of the challenge partners that you met here today will go through all of the applications to their challenges and pick the top teams to join the event itself. So do give me detailed plans of the project and of the equipment, meaning drone or drones that you are using, and so on. If you are an individual looking for a team to join, it's possible as well. In the same form, simply state that you don't have a team yet, and then fill in the section where you go through your own background and your skills and what kind of teams you would be most useful in, so that I can then, with the help of our team, do some matchmaking and connect you with a team that is looking for your expertise. You have until the 6th of January to do this. If you need any help at all, reach out to me and I will help you out. Do note though that we are taking Christmas vacation, so it's kind of a tricky time. So preferably, I don't want to rush you, but next week would be a great time to apply so that I have time to stay in touch with you as well. The registration deadline is the 6th of January, when all of the teams, all of the project ideas need to be registered through this form on the website. We will then start going through all of the applications together with the partners, and on the 8th of January, you will get an email, regardless of the end, meaning are you approved or not to join the hackathon itself. You will be notified and get all of the onboarding information and so on. Note that this is a physical hackathon in Tampere, as we mentioned, so we do need you to be on site. However, we have a hotel discount that is valid until the 10th of January for Lapland hotels. So along with that onboarding information, you'll get that discount code as well. But do note already that you need to book pretty quickly so that it's still valid. Before the hackathon, we will meet once in an onboarding call online, together with all of the teams and the mentors that will then be helping you out throughout the hackathon. In this session, we ask all of the teams to briefly introduce your solution and your plan for the hackathon. No slides needed, no nothing, just kind of a quick introduction so that you can get the first brief comments from the mentors already. The purpose of this is that you can develop your solutions already a bit before the hackathon if there's something that really needs to be noticed already before the mentors can let you know in this call. And of course, we onboard you and go through the practicalities as well in this call. And finally, us and the selected teams will join in the hackathon itself on the 21st of January. We will be in the Nokia Arena flying, as said already, in 3 of the challenges, and then we will be in the Platform 6 venue, very nearby to the arena, so it's super close, all of it. You will have support from the mentors there. We have mentors and experts from all of the partnering challenge companies that you've heard from today, as well as some external guests and experts from the defense forces, etc., that really know this area and know what is needed in the industry right now. You will develop, you will fly, and you will pitch for a jury on the final day. I see a raised hand from you, Tero. Do you want to chime in?
Yes, just a quick question on the general audience. So if you're not in a team or you're not participating in any of the challenges, what kind of a guidance would you have for the audience that might come and just want to see the event as a spectator?
Excellent. There is also the possibility to join as a spectator to watch these flights. We can put a separate registration link for this purpose, where you simply hand out your interest to watch the public parts of the hackathon, let's say, and then we will reach out with further instructions on how you can join and where and so on. So that is definitely possible, and we will have a separate link for this. Thank you, Tero, for bringing that up. Excellent. That's the timeline. So things are happening very quickly. A few practical notes. As mentioned already, we have the NATO residency and citizenship aspect of this event due to the sensitivity of the subject, let's say. But however, if you are interested in the event and have some questions around these eligibility criteria, do reach out to me and we can discuss them. And we can take them up case by case with the partners and as well. So do reach out, and we'll see what we can do. We ask you to, in the final state, I said you can apply as an individual, but in the hackathon itself, we are hoping to see teams with team members of 2 to 5 people. So regardless of how you apply, if you join a team or join the hackathon, it will be in a team instead of an individual. And of course, we all want to be plus 18 years of age. Fully on-site mentioned, ID needed from all of the participants so that we can make sure that you are who you say you are. In your flights that you will be doing for challenges 2, 3, and 4, we ask you to bring your own drones. As said, for some of the challenges, for example, the 5G challenge, you can get some SIM cards and so on, but you do need your own drone. What you do with the drone and how you develop it and tweak it for the purpose of the challenge, up to you, but just so that you are aware of this. The flight frequencies that we are using, or that you can fly beside or inside, how to put that, is as you see on the screen. This is mostly relevant for challenge 2, where you have that jammer shield, but for the other challenges as well, most likely you will stay within these frequencies. Even if you want to do autonomous flights, great, but do note that all the flights inside the arena are GPS denied. So keep that in mind when you are planning your flights and the possibilities. The agenda itself, when you get to the arena, and now I'm gonna quote Sauli as well and say that once we get closer to the events and we know the exact amount of teams and we know the exact specs, let's say, these might change a little, but shouldn't change too much. I have these as per challenge because you do have a bit of a different set of layout and setting for the different challenges. So let's go through them one by one, but I will be quick. The first challenge, where you don't need to fly a drone, you will stay in the platform 6 venues. We don't need to go back and forth for this one. We will open the event on the 21st at 4 p.m. so that you have time to get to the venue, time to do something else in the day before as well. And then we officially open the event at 5 with some opening words and so from the partners, we go through the practicalities and so on. Immediately when the opening ends, we go through our first so-called checkpoint. This just means that we as organizers check where you are as a team, what is the status right now, what's the plan for the hackathon, what kind of mentor support would you need to get the best out of this event and the first day. And then we match you with some relevant mentors from our mentor and expert pool, and then we don't disturb you anymore that day. We give you dinner and then we let you work together with the mentors. We start the second day the same way. We check in with you, check your progress from the first day to the second, and again, make sure that you have the best and most relevant mentors supporting you for the second day of the hackathon. We have a dinner and networking event at 6 as well, so you might want to schedule your time so that you are able to join and meet some of our external guests and profiles that are joining this session as well. And in other aspects, this is simply for working on your project, working on your pitch that you then will be delivering on the third day of the hackathon. You will be pitching for a jury at 10, and then they will deliberate on the winning teams, and we will announce the winners in an award ceremony at 2 p.m. Note that there, again, most likely will be audience present here, and we have media and other guests here as well. So you will not go unnoticed if you are to be awarded here. For the second challenge, the Invisible Intruder, again, if you are joining several challenges, you still join the first day on behalf of those challenges. But if you're only joining the second challenge, it's enough that you are on site 22nd of January, where we open this challenge at 9 a.m. So a bit of a different, let's say, setting. You have the time until 4 to kind of chat with the mentors, work on your plans for your flights. And then between 4 and 5, we are doing the test flights for this challenge. Otherwise, it's all the same setting. You work on your pitch, you network a bit during dinner, and then you will be pitching for a jury, and we will be awarding the teams the next day. For challenges 3 and 4, you have the first day as the first challenge as well. You come on site, you get to work with the mentors, validate the ideas, validate the plans, and get as ready as you can for the following day. You will have the test flights for the third challenge at 10 in the morning. So those will be the first flights that we do in the arena on the Thursday. And then you will have the second test flights for challenge 4 in the afternoon. And then other than that, working, asking for support from the organizers and the mentors whenever you need it. But otherwise, we are letting you do your thing. And again, send in your materials in the morning of the 23rd, pitch, win the hackathon. Easy peasy. I'm going to go through the flight practicalities quickly, just again, so that you know in a nutshell or on a higher level what is expected. Of course, once you are selected, not if, but once you are selected to the hackathon, you will get the very, let's say, detailed instructions and better briefs, but just so that you already can kind of get your mindset on what is happening. If you are joining the Invisible Intruder Challenge, you will get a flight time of 2 minutes per team, but you do have 2 attempts if needed. It means with all of the setting up and so on that you get a time slot for 10 minutes per team. And as we mentioned earlier, 1 drone in the air at a time is the plan. So then you each will be given a separate time slot. The drone goes up, we put the jammer on, and then we see what happens for 2 minutes. For the third challenge, where you are driving that obstacle course, you will get a bit more time because it is a longer challenge or given task, let's say. That means that you each get 2 attempts of 2 minutes to solve the course. And for the fourth challenge, where you are trying to fly as silently as possible, you have a flight time of 5 minutes, and again 2 attempts if you want to pivot for the second round, which gives you a time slot of 15 minutes when you're setting up and so on. If you're solving several challenges, you will be given several time slots, and then we take it from there. I will quickly go through the evaluation criteria and then save time for the questions. If you're creating concepts and services in Challenge 1, you will get these slides so you can look at them more in depth as well. We will be looking with the jury on the service concept fit. First and foremost, is there a relevant service concept here? Is this something that will engage stakeholders and users? We will look at your business model as well as the roadmap and practical aspect of things. How feasible is this? How would you take this forward and so on? And of course, we'll look at the innovativeness. How novel is this and creative in different approaches? And finally, how much progress did you make during the hackathon and are you able to present that? So is there a clear demo, some sort of visualization, simulation of the solution? What was done during the hackathon days? For the second challenge, we look at your innovativeness. Were you able to fly without recognition and they weren't able to classify your flying object or so on? Were you able to fly through that detection shield? Or again, as Kati already mentioned, if not, then how well were you able to do it? What was your innovative approach? Were you able to somehow get a demo of the solution? Were you recording it? Up to you as a team, how you create some sort of simulation or demo of this. And of course, how well did you present this? What's the plan based on the flights? What would you do for the next flights to come and so on? Is there a clear presentation of what you learned? For the third challenge, where you fly the course, we of course look at the completion of the course. How many obstacles were you able to clear? This is relative to the size of the drone. So there will be different size obstacles to fly through, and then based on the measurements of your own drone, that's how we will be able to give you scores for that one. And are you able to identify and record that surveillance object? We look at the time, but of course, again, the innovativeness. Does this somehow introduce any new and unique technical approaches? Here as well, we're looking for you to somehow be able to record this demo of your flight and then present the overall progress and learnings of your flight and your project. Pretty similar to the fourth and final challenge, we look at the distance. So how close were you able to get to that target that we mentioned, the sensor, within the given time limit? How silent was your drone, not only in terms of how close did you get, but how silent was it throughout the flight? We will have some other sensors as well en route, let's say, to kind of cover your overall silence. And then here as well, we look at the innovativeness, the demo, and the presentation. A lot of input here, but definitely useful, I think. This can be found on the website as well, but do not forget that at stake we have a 15,000 euro prize pool for the top teams. We also have a team selected to the Tech 17 Accelerator program and up to 40k euro funding for development support in Ukraine. And then the top 3 teams will also be invited to visit Patria. So definitely not, again, a big cause behind the event, and also good possibilities for the top teams here. With that, I want to summarize and encourage everyone to send in your applications if you haven't yet. Do it ASAP, but at the latest by January 6th. Then stay tuned on your inboxes for that invitation email. Meet me again on the 14th for that onboarding call, and then of course for the hackathon itself. And I'm always available if you have any questions regarding the event. That was my monologue. I tried to be as fast as possible, but let's jump right into some questions. I see that we have something happening in the chat. Before that, I saw that Jan had raised his hand. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, once again, raised hand. My question is for this obstacle course. Are we able to see that? Because, like I said, we are interested about the autonomous flight, so we need to have some sort of a different kind of a way of mapping the arena or the course, because we are not able to send any comments during the flight on the drone. So, what do you think?
Absolutely. And as Sauli mentioned, there might be some changes on the exact layout, but as soon as we have the completely and for sure final version, we can definitely share it. So again, no secret in that sense. Once we have it, you will have it as well.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Good questions. Let's start from the top and see who can answer what. What resources are provided for the teams? Drones to experiment with, etc., or should everyone bring their own hardware? Yeah, so as mentioned, you do need to bring your own hardware. We're there to support you, and the experts are there to support you in terms of what could be done with them, but it needs to be your own, unfortunately. Yes, the info package will be shared afterwards. So all of the material shared will be sent to you as well with the same email that you registered to the webinar with. And the recording will go up on the website as well. So it should be everywhere and hard to miss. Anything else? It wasn't that many questions. I thought I saw more and got a bit stressed. Anything else that we are wondering now that we have all of the experts on the line in terms of the flights, in terms of the challenges, in terms of practicalities, anything that you might find useful?
I have one question that came to my mind. If I don't have drone, can some of the other teams borrow the drone for me, or is there any source of drones available?
Excellent question. And of course, sharing is caring. If someone has a drone that can be used, for sure, we only encourage it. We can also see if there would be a possibility for us to have some spare drones as well. No promises made, but definitely something that we'll look into. But do share in the event. Do share as much as you can. Anything else that we are wondering with remaining 15 minutes? If not, I want to first of all thank everyone for being on the line and joining this session. I want to thank all of the partners for both the presentations today, but also for enabling mid-sentence. What type of drones are we looking for? Again, no restrictions, no requirements on what kind of drones the drones need to be. Completely up to you what you want to work with. So here we only give you free hands. The sky is the limit. And then of course just make sure that it's if you want to borrow a drone, again, anything you have any get specific requests, I will forward them as well.
Just this is Tero again. Hi. Just to keep in mind that also all the challenges or the teams are then evaluated by innovation. So be creative, be innovating, just not kind of like take whatever first drone from the shop and start flying. So spend some time think about what kind of innovation you can bring.
Yes, for sure. Good point. Yes, we have a question. All team members on the challenge teams are subject to the NATO citizenship and residency requirements. Yeah, that is a general requirement, yes. But if you have any, reach out to me, send me a message if you have any questions about this or any details around your team members, and we can take it from there. Excellent. If nothing further, I will be in your inbox shortly as well with the materials and the link to the registration, etc. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all the partners for enabling this exciting event, to say the least. And I hope to see all of you in Tampere with us on the 21st or 22nd of January. Enjoy your not so sunny evening, and we will get back to you shortly. Thanks to all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Madeline. Thank you. Bye, everyone.